During the Stanley Cup playoffs, ice hockey is about the only subject mentioned in Canada. Come on, the Maple Leafs! It's funny how national sports tell so much about the character of a nation. In England, it's cricket and let's kill time with another cup of tea. In America, baseball and let's kill the umpire. As you see in Canada, it's ice hockey and let's kill everybody. Kill him! Catching, isn't it?
Excuse me, monsieur. The score?
Maple Leafs leading 3-2.
Come on there, get in!
Is something wrong?
I do not know, monsieur. Come on, the Maple Leafs! You support the wrong team, monsieur.
It's a matter of opinion.
Oh, I do not refer to the game. I refer to the phenomenon of your sitting at this moment behind Bert Northwade, the richest man in Montreal.
It's a pure coincidence, believe me, Inspector.
Ah, you know me?
Of course I do. You're Inspector Henri Levin, Montreal Police.
And you, monsieur, are the famous Simon Templar.
Should be shot. You're bored, aren't you, Ellen?
No, I'm cold.
What's new about that? Come on, Dupre! Now shoot! Shoot! Shoot!
Mr. Northway,
Oh, Tom. Didn't know you were a hockey fan.
the United Motors people are early. They're at the house now.
Good!
Bert, you're not really going through with this.
Come on, we're leaving.
Very interesting, wouldn't you say, Jim?
Yes, very interesting.
Is that all you have to say?
No, I'd go further than that, Mr. Northwade. I'd say we were definitely impressed.
Gentlemen, I wasn't born yesterday. I've been in business on my own for 30 years. And one thing I've learned in those years is that you big company types are a pain in the teeth. You're so imbued with this groupthink nonsense, you can't even decide what to have for lunch without calling a conference.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Mr. Northwade.
This can have United Motors in bad trouble within 1 year. I own it. You want it. We've established that much right off the bat. Yes or no?
Well...
Yes.
Thanks.
But you must understand that our design department is working along similar lines, and we...
Mr. Sinfield, don't tell me the facts of life. I know them. This is the first cheap, practical gas turbine engine that can power an automobile without requiring changes in body design. United Motors sent you up here with the authority to buy the rights, so let's talk money.
We haven't the authority to actually conclude a deal, Mr. Northwade. Until our board of directors considers...
Oh, stop it.
What's your proposition?
Firstly, United Motors buys the invention outright from me for a sum of $4 million. And secondly, the deal is concluded and the contracts are signed within the next 3 days.
Oh, I don't think we could...
Then get out.
Pardon?
I can have the president of Dominion Motors in this room in 1 hour simply by picking up that phone. So either cook or turn off the oven.
Mr. Northwade, I won't say it's a pleasure doing business with you, but it's certainly an experience.
You, don't give us much choice.
You haven't any.
All right. I'll talk to New York and Detroit first thing in the morning. We'll give you a definite answer by Tuesday.
Good. Thank you, gentlemen. It's been very pleasant meeting you.
Yes, I suppose it has.
Well, Ellen, congratulate me. I've done it.
Have you?
$4 million.
Congratulations.
Why do you say it like that?
I've said it, haven't I? Don't ask me to mean it.
Now, look here, Ellen.
Bert, please, please don't go through with this. You can't.
Oh, can't I?
That turbine isn't yours.
You're wrong.
Bert, you stole it. And of all people, from your own brother.
I have a contract from the brilliant Dr. Northway that states that all rights in his invention are legally mine.
Legally they may be, but morally they're not.
I'm not interested in morality.
No. No, you certainly aren't.
Ellen, do me a favor. Keep out of this.
I'm to stand idly by while Frank gets taken. Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, Bert, you can't. Frank is family. And there's Judith and Mary to think of.
Leave Mary out of this. She married him. She can live with him.
Is that why you're doing this? It is, isn't it? You're still in love with her. And you want to hurt her because she married Frank.
Now, don't be ridiculous.
Bert, look at me. Are you still in love with Mary?
No.
I don't believe you.
Well, at least she produced Judith, which is more than...
That is a terrible thing to say.
I'm sorry.
I feel sorry for you, Bert. You still envy Frank.
Envy him? I was a millionaire at 26 while he was still plodding along teaching physics for $3,500 a year.
You envy him, his wife and his daughter. You still wince when people call him doctor in front of you. You even envy the way he despises money.
He didn't despise it when he asked me for a loan.
Bert, you're always telling people to say exactly what they mean. Well, I'll say it now. You're a liar and a crook.
You?
Go ahead, if you want to. I deserve it for living with you.
Morning, Tom.
Morning, Mr. Northway.
Mrs. Northway up yet?
Yeah, she's at church.
We'll start with the national timber correspondence. Let's see. There's somebody snooping around the grounds. Come here. You see?
He's using binoculars.
Where's Garner?
In the kitchen.
Get him. Take one of my shotguns. I'm sick and tired of these newspaper people trespassing on private property. We've a legal right to shoot, remember?
Just a minute, you. Can you read?
Isn't that rather an irrelevant question?
There are no trespassing signs all over the estate.
I wasn't trespassing. I was trying to drive as quietly as possible to Sandaguth. And some clown backed out of there.
You're a reporter.
You're wrong.
Hold it.
What's the matter with you two?
Mr. Northwaite's tired of snooping reporters.
I am not a reporter.
You were trespassing, and you can explain it to the police. If he tries to get away, you've got a legal right to shoot.
Inspector Lavin, I never trespass. I don't have to. I'm invited everywhere.
But you were on the Northwade estate.
I was just passing by. Why didn't you go out to the scene of the accident and have a look at the skid marks? I was driving along, at peace with the world, admiring the scenery, when suddenly this car backed up out of nowhere.
Monsieur Templar, I have for you a high regard.
Thank you.
But yesterday, you sit behind Monsieur Northwade at a hockey game, and today you have an accident right in front of his house. It is a coincidence, no?
It's a coincidence, yes. And that's all.
This other car, did you get the license number?
No.
Well, it is obvious, of course, that we have no case against you. Nevertheless, I should like the explanation of why you are in Montreal.
Since when does being in Montreal require an explanation?
Your case is an exception.
All right. Way out on St. Lawrence Boulevard, there's a little restaurant called Chez Marie. Do you know it?
Oh, but of course.
Then you had her omelets.
Quel délice!
Gossamer skin of gold.
Oh, delicate, light.
Thinly sliced mushrooms.
A shred of onion.
A dish for the gods. That's why I'm in Montreal. I was there last night. I'm going again tonight and tomorrow.
You will be kind enough to give Marie my regards.
I'll be happy to.
Of course, it will be difficult.
Difficult? Why?
She moved to Vancouver 8 months ago. The restaurant is closed.
Touché. Au revoir, Inspector. Au revoir.
Albert,
Yes, Inspector.
that man is Simon Templar. He's up to something. Follow him, report all his movements. Understand?
Yes, sir.
And don't lose him.
Bonjour. You are following me?
I am, monsieur.
Inspector Lavin's orders.
Oui, monsieur.
Well, since you are following me, you won't mind if I lead the way.
After you.
Merci. Three or four, please.
Oh, yes, Mr. Templar.
By the way, on the parking lot, I caught the fender of a Pontiac, license number 57162. Do you know who it belongs to?
Oh, yes. I can't remember the young lady's name, sir, but she just a second went into the bar. She's wearing a pink blouse with a black skirt and a kind of a top. And she's carrying a long black bag.
Thank you. You know, things would be a lot friendlier if I knew your name.
Sustel, Detective Sergeant.
Oh, Sergeant, I am going to pick up a girl. Now, if you promise not to disturb me, you'll consider the bar and have an unlimited number of drinks at my expense.
Monsieur Templar, if everyone in the world was like you...
Sergeant, be my guest.
a rum Hatton.
Je ne comprends pas, mademoiselle.
You make it look with rum and vermouth.
Je ne parle pas anglais, mademoiselle.
Garçon, écoutez.
Monsieur.
Mademoiselle demande que vous mélangez 3 parties de rhum avec une partie de vermouth et un soupçon d'angosture, mélangé avec beaucoup de glace. Versez dans le petit verre et servez avec une tranche de citron. Allons, fais vite. Oh, garçon.
Oui, monsieur.
Et la même chose pour moi.
Merci, monsieur.
Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.
I wish I could speak French.
I wish you could drive.
You aren't the man I nearly bumped into this morning.
In person, but only just.
What can I say?
You could ask me to join you.
Oh, please do. I'm terribly sorry. Really, I am.
Well, that's all right, but would I be spoiling our blossoming friendship if I were to inquire why you were driving as though you were on the Indianapolis Speedway?
I was looking at a house.
Oh? In real estate?
No. Can you keep a secret?
Try me.
In the words of the trade, I was casing the joint.
Why?
I want to commit a crime as soon as possible.
Be careful.
You'll help me, won't you?
Why should I?
Because you're Simon Templar.
I make a point of never helping beautiful ladies commit crimes until we're formally introduced.
My name is Judith Northwade. Bert Northwade is my uncle. It's his house I want to rob.
Now, let me get this clear, Inspector. One of the most notorious men in the world is snooping around my house, and the Montreal police can't do a thing about it?
But we have no possible basis for a charge against him.
He was trespassing on my property.
He denies that.
Inspector, he was snooping on me with binoculars.
But we found none, monsieur.
So you assume he hadn't any? Inspector, I saw him. So did my secretary and my chauffeur.
And you, Mrs. Northwade?
I was at church, Inspector.
Which was very helpful of you.
Oh, Bert, aren't you overreacting? After all, there's been no crime committed.
Ellen, keep out of this.
I'm sorry.
For the moment, let us assume that Templar was snooping around your house. Have you any idea what he could be after? Something specific?
Such as?
Oh, have you recently acquired any new paintings?
No.
Or Mrs. Northwade some new jewelry?
No.
Well, we shall do everything we possibly can to protect you, monsieur. He's being followed 24 hours a day. One of my best men is with him at this exact moment.
Cognac, monsieur?
Merci.
Merci.
Monsieur?
It's life.
That's the best dinner I've ever had. How do they do it?
One of the higher mysteries of life.
I'm awfully glad I met you.
So am I. Now, tell me about your uncle.
Well, he made millions during the war, under the guise of ardent patriotism. He's cruel, ruthless, and dishonest. What's more, he's killing my father. Sorry, get over me.
That's all right.
Dad's professor of engineering at the University of Toronto. You couldn't find two brothers more different.
How?
Well, Uncle Bert only wanted money. Dad never did. He's just a wonderful, quiet, kind man. Almost a child outside his work. They both started at the bottom, but Uncle Bert made his money while Dad was working his way through college. The thing that came between them was my mother.
Uncle Bert wanted her, too.
Mm-hmm. But Dad got her.
And Uncle Bert was jealous.
He still is. He hates Dad, but Dad's too trusting to see it.
Go on.
Well, for the last 2 years, Dad's been working on this gas turbine engine for cars. There's a fortune in it. But the research was expensive, and Dad ran out of money.
I can see it coming. He went to Uncle Bert for help. How much?
$5,000.
And of course, he put up the turbine as a security.
Yes. Plus a paper which says that all rights revert to Uncle Bert forever, unless Dad paid him back within 6 months.
And the time's running out.
Oh, yes. Uncle Bert's practically completed arrangements to sell the turbine to United Motors.
Or is there no legal way of stopping him?
No. It's one of those things where possession is 9 points of the law. Now, if I could get hold of the contract and plans, Uncle Bert wouldn't have the face to go to court and publish the terms of them, which he'd have to if he wanted to make any claims.
So you propose stealing?
Yes. It's justice, even if it is against the law.
Judith, how does your dad feel about all this?
Oh, he's given up.
I'd like to have met him.
Oh, well, you can if you want to. He's due in from Toronto tonight for a university conference.
Oh? What time?
His train's due in about 10. He should be at the hotel right now.
Waiter. I'll check, please. And the gentleman over there. Excuse me. Enjoy the dinner, Sergeant?
Ah, Monsieur Templar, you are too generous. Without exaggeration, this is the happiest assignment I have had in years.
I try to please. Now, if it's convenient, we'd like to leave.
For where?
I'm going to take the young lady back to the hotel. That's if it's all right with you.
But of course.
Fine, I'll drive slowly so you won't have any trouble keeping up. Okay.
I know it's none of my business, but who's your friend?
A very cordial Montreal cop.
A cop?
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, he's destined to become my closest friend.
Has Dr. Frank Northwaite of Toronto registered yet? He's my father.
Ah, yes, Miss Northwaite. Just come in. Room 907.
Thank you.
I beg your pardon, monsieur, but...
What's the matter, Sergeant? Don't you trust me?
But of course, it's just that my orders are...
I'm going to take the young lady to her room, and I'm not going to leave the hotel again tonight. I give you my word.
Monsieur Templar, I trust you to the end of time. Good night and sleep well.
Judith, are you seriously suggesting that you'd commit a robbery?
Why not? If Uncle Bert steals from you, why can't you steal from him?
You must be out of your mind.
But, Dad, sometimes you have to fight fire with fire.
Dr. Northwaite, have you seen a lawyer?
Of course I've seen a lawyer. It's quite simple. I signed a contract. What's more, it's my own personal and private problem, and I'll thank the two of you not to interfere.
But it was a mistake. You just didn't read the fine print.
That's my responsibility.
It didn't occur to Dad that his own brother could be dishonest.
I'm quite capable of handling my own affairs, and I don't want to discuss this any further.
Dr. Northwaite, as an estimate, what will your brother make out of this?
Young man, that's none of your business.
About $2 million.
Judith, how dare you?
Well, I've told him everything else.
Let me make this quite clear. If either one of you, or you alone, Judith, make any attempt whatsoever to get those plans back by dishonest means, I will inform the police myself. I've nothing more to say.
Well, that's that. I suppose he was right. Maybe I wouldn't have gotten away with it.
No, I don't think you would.
I'm sorry. I've wasted your time.
On the contrary, it's one of the nicest evenings I've ever had.
Really?
I've enjoyed every minute of it.
So have I.
I'm going to enjoy it even more in a moment.
Oh?
Got a call from CJ at the crack of dawn this morning.
know what's eating
Oh,
him?
Mr. Wallace.
Yes?
Mr. Northwaite's car's outside, sir.
Oh, thank you. Okay, come on, Hal, off to the wars.
The American?
Yes, sir. Executives with United Motors. From Detroit, I believe.
Put these in the box for me, will you?
Yes, sir.
Bonjour, Monsieur Templar.
Bonjour. You sleep well?
Except for my heartburn. You know, it is a pity. French cooking is the envy of the world. But the moment I indulge, even moderately, I belch.
We all have our problems, don't we?
No matter. Where are you going?
We're going to pay a little visit to Mr. Bert Northwaite.
Oh, monsieur, I'm afraid I cannot permit you to bother Monsieur Northwaite. Inspector Lavant told me that...
Well, we can discuss it in my car. Sergeant, I have been fair with you, haven't I?
Very and more than generous.
And your orders were to follow me.
Yes, but Inspector Lavant feels somehow that you are annoying Monsieur Northwaite, and it is my duty to...
Sergeant, I am only going to talk to him. I give him my word. Now, there's no law against that, is there?
Well, no, monsieur.
So you'll wait for me? Like a good fellow?
How can I refuse? I had the best dinner last night I've had in years.
There'll be more.
Monsieur Templar, I don't care what the inspector says. I hope you stay in Montreal for a long time.
Well, thank you.
But surely we agree on the amount. 4 6-monthly payments, so the total should be
The
satisfactory.
entire payment must be made within 30 days.
Sir, if you don't mind, Mr. McKinnon.
What are you doing here?
I have come to see Mr. Northwaite.
That's impossible. He's in a business conference.
Well, then I'll have to disturb him, won't I?
Oh, no, you don't.
Junior, if you don't get your hand off me in 1 second, I'm going to throw you right through the roof.
Mr. Northwaite, he just brushed past me.
Well. Little conference with United Motors. Cozy, aren't we?
What is this, McKinnon? Who is this man?
It's Simon Templar.
Uncle Bert. I am only trying to help. I want to see you sell your brother's turbine to United Motors just as badly as you do.
What's that?
You mean he hasn't told you?
Told me what?
Oh, it's nothing important. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Not important. Your brother Frank worked 2 years on this. He gave his life's blood to it.
What's he talking about?
Well, originally, the turbine belonged to my brother, Professor Frank Northwaite of Toronto. But he assigned all rights to me.
I see. How interesting.
Oh, my goodness.
It was perfectly legal.
That's one thing I admire about Bert. He's always legal. A liar and a cheat, but legal.
Why, you...
Now, what's your blood pressure?
Mr. Northwaite, you'd better explain this.
Yeah. Paragraph 6. Read it.
Take your time. To Uncle Bert. Love, Judith. Very beautiful girl, your niece.
What's my niece got to do with this?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Well, this certainly seems clear enough.
Of course it is.
Just the same, I'll have to mention it to our legal department in New York.
There's not going to be any delay. I won't stand for it.
You ever notice, gentlemen? The shadier the deal, the faster it has to be.
Templar, I'll have you arrested for this.
Very vindictive man, Uncle Bert. Oh, don't worry about the deal, gentlemen. It is legal, I think. Morally, of course, Uncle Bert is cheating his own brother out of a fortune.
What?
Now, I never hit an older man, but with you, I could make an exception. Very clever man, our Bert. Big war profiteer. Oh, then there was that little transaction a couple of years back.
Oh, what was that?
Oh, don't worry, gentlemen. There was nothing illegal about it. Mind you, his partner shot himself. Well, I'll leave you. Good luck with the deal. You'll need it.
Inspector Lavin?
Lavin, I thought you told me that Templar was being followed 24 hours a day.
Well, then how do you explain the fact that he burst into my house,
interrupted a business conference, and slandered me to my face in front of associates.
I'm very sorry.
What's the good of being sorry about it? Your job is to protect law-abiding citizens. And if you can't handle the job properly, we'll find somebody who will.
Yes, Mr. Northway?
That's most amusing.
Hi, Inspector, how are you?
You fool! You imbecile!
Inspector!
Your orders were to follow him, not to let him out of your sight.
But, Inspector, the sergeant has been with me all the time. He's never...
Keep quiet! He went to Bert Northwaite's house, right under your very nose.
But of course I went with him.
You what?
We've just returned this moment.
You actually went with him?
But your instructions were...
He walks in and insults the richest man in Montreal with your permission.
Well, no. I mean...
Inspector, the sergeant waited for me outside in my car.
Templar, I want you out of Montreal in 24 hours. Otherwise, I'll put you in jail.
On what charge?
I don't know, but I'll think of one. Let him out of your sight for 1 minute, and I'll jail you with him.
Mon Dieu.
I'm sorry about that, Sergeant.
Now you see, monsieur, I must do as the inspector says.
Of course. I'm going up to my room for a while. Mrs. Northwood?
Mr. Templar, I've never been disloyal to my husband in my life. However, what he's doing to his brother is so wrong. I have to stop it. He keeps the plans and the contract in a safe in his study.
Yes, I know.
I also keep my jewelry there.
There's only one possible way Templar could become involved in this.
He's working for your brother.
He has to be. And since he's leaving town tomorrow, he'll try to get those plans back tonight.
And we'll be waiting for him.
We certainly will. McKinnon, get me 3 night watchmen from the plant. Tough ones. They'll take guard duty in the grounds all night.
Right.
You, Garner, and I will handle the inside of the house. You ever used one of these, Garner?
No, sir.
Well, just point it in the right direction and pull the trigger. You know, I hope he tries it.
You do? Why?
Because if ever I find a prowler in my house, I have a legal right to shoot first and ask questions later.
About something, mademoiselle.
All right, Marie? Monsieur?
Thank you. Keep the change.
Merci bien, monsieur. Madame?
You sure you won't have one?
No, thanks. I was so nervous I couldn't even eat dinner.
Burglar should work on a full stomach.
You know, I can't believe you're doing this for me.
Why don't you stop worrying? It's my burglary now. It's 11 o'clock, though. 1:30, you'll be sitting in my car in the parking lot, okay?
All right. How are you going to get rid of him?
Easy. Watch. Sergeant, I'm going to turn in now. You can go home to bed.
Well, good night, monsieur. Thank you again for the dinner. Not so good as last night, but delicious.
You're welcome.
Good night, mademoiselle.
Good night.
Now, this man is dangerous. Use your guns if you have to.
Yes, sir.
Now, take your positions.
Still here.
Always on duty.
I'm sorry to put you to all this trouble.
My instructions are to remain here all night.
I suppose there's no law against you coming in and having a nightcap with me, is it?
Well,
I have some excellent brandy.
in that case.
Oh, it's on there. Would you help yourself? I have to make a phone call. Operator, could you give me long distance? I'd like to speak to operator 20. Oh, it's empty?
Oui, monsieur.
You'll find some more in the closet, would you mind? Yes, I'll hold. You'll find it at the back behind my luggage.
Jean-Claude, let me out of here. You're not being fair.
Hello? Long distance? No, I was calling the police. But it doesn't matter. I've got him now. Thank you.
I'll arrest you. You'll go to jail.
Yes, I'm sure I will. But not tonight. Nervous?
He's terrified.
You shouldn't be.
You know, I still don't know why you're doing this for me.
It's a game after my own heart. Besides, I've had ideas about Northwaite for some time.
But you could get into a lot of trouble.
Only if I'm caught. Don't worry, I won't be. Well, this is it.
Simon, please be careful.
It's midnight now. If I'm not back in 20 minutes, you beat it, okay?
Whatever you say. Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
It's okay. Well, Uncle Bert in person.
Get your hands up. Keep them covered.
Yes, sir.
Now, put that envelope back in the safe. Caught you in the act, didn't we, Templar? Breaking and entering with intent to steal. We'll see if you can talk your way out of this one.
Hold it.
You've got them.
Right here.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Mrs. Northwaite helped.
They're gone. But we saw him put them back. I don't understand it. He wasn't in here 3 minutes. Even for an expert, breaking open that safe would take 10 minutes at least.
He had a key.
What did you say?
He had a key. I gave him mine.
You what?
Yes. I also turned off the lights.
Get out. You helped a man steal.
No.
Steal from me.
The plans weren't yours. They could hardly be stolen from you.
Well, I have news for you, Ellen. I'll have them back by tomorrow.
No, Bert. By tomorrow, Frank will have them back. Mr. Templar's seeing to that. It's one of those things where possession is 9 points of the law.
Oh, Frank signed a contract.
Then sue him. Go into court. Reveal the terms of that outrageous contract. You'll get a medal for it. The meanest man in Montreal. You'll be laughed out of the country. You won't get far with Mr. Templar either. He didn't break in, not legally.
Just how do you figure that?
This house is in my name, remember? To avoid estate tax. I invited Mr. Templar to come here tonight. Though he didn't come through the door, of course. But I don't think that matters. I left a window open for him at the back. I'm afraid there's not much you can do, Bert. I'm sorry.
Ellen, why?
Believe it or not, Bert, I'd like to rediscover the man I married. It just happens that I love you.
Oh, I feel like I was floating on air.
Maybe you are.
I just can't believe you got away with it.
Did I promise I would?
Yes. Yes, you're wonderful.
Devil's that up ahead? Maybe a policeman or a maniac could park like that. There's nobody in it.
I was afraid you'd go right into him.
What?
This is as far as I go, Simon. I'll have those plans, please.
My. Life is full of surprises.
I was Dr. Northwaite's secretary in Toronto. That's how I knew the whole setup. The real Judith Northwaite is in Switzerland, skiing.
Good for her. Why, isn't that rather foolish?
No, they were the keys from your car.
Oh. Well, how do I get home?
You can look for them when it's daylight.
And you?
There's no patent on this. Finders keepers. We've had a big offer from an English automobile company.
Come on, Judy.
All right. Arthur and I have been working on this for weeks. We'd have done it by ourselves if I hadn't just happened to bump into you.
I was sheer inspiration.
There's nothing like having the greatest expert in the world on your side.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry it had to turn out like this. I liked you.
Past tense.
I still like you. I guess I always will.
The feeling's mutual.
Goodbye, Simon.
We did it. We pulled it off. I never thought it'd be that easy.
Neither did I. But you know, it was too easy. Blank paper.
What?
There's nothing.
Come in.
Dirty, cheap, rotten low life. Where are they?
Where are what?
The plans.
Oh, the plans. Well, if you let me up, I'll tell you. I mailed them to the real Dr. Northway tonight in Toronto. The fake ones I made up especially for you. You can keep them.
What do you mean, the real Dr. Northway?
Oh, I spoke to him a little while ago on the phone. He's going to send Uncle Bert $5,000. Incidentally, he said you were an excellent secretary. He couldn't think why you resigned.
How did you find out?
There's a photograph of Judith Northwade on Uncle Bert's desk. It wasn't you.
And you let me go on believing... Why, you...
Now, don't be sore, Judith. You're not cut out for this sort of thing. Why don't you admit it?
Well, what sort of thing would you say I was cut out for?
Well, now, if we were alone, I would be delighted to tell you. Unfortunately, we have company.
Oh, your sergeant friend. I don't think the inspector will be very pleased.
Neither do I. I'd better wake him up. The inspector will be here in 10 minutes. Which just gives you time to get out of town.
Would you advise me to, Simon?
Very strongly.
Pity. Perhaps we'll meet again sometime.